Just get really comfortable. Maybe roll your shoulders back a couple times. I like to close my eyes. As I go through these sessions, you do what feels comfortable and safe for you. I want you to start at the crown of your head. And as we take a brief scan of your body, I want you to begin an intentional breathing practice as we go. Breathing in through your nose, intentionally, deeply. Take about 3 to 4 seconds as you breathe in, and then hold for holding at the bottom for another 3 or 4 before beginning again. In through the nose. Take note of the energy in your body as we start at the crown and move through your third eye, through the back of your neck, down to your shoulders, the space between the nape of your neck and your shoulders, down your arms. Just notice where your energy is more flowing or fluid. Continue to breathe in through your nose, holding at the top, releasing out through the mouth. Continuing down the front of your neck, down past your sternum to your heart chakra, your chest cavity, down through your solar plexus. Notice where the energy might be stuck or stagnant as you move. Continue to move to your root and sacral chakras, your hips. Notice your sits bones. Maybe adjust them if needed, then shins, all the way down to your ankles and feet. And take in another deep breath. And this time, as you let it out through the mouth, really intentionally pull that breath out and push all the way down. Clear through the bottoms of your feet. Notice the texture surrounding your feet, whether that's socks or shoes. Perhaps it's a carpeted floor or tile or wood. And bring to mind something that you deeply desire. Continuing to breathe intentionally, filling those lungs to capacity. Bring to mind something that you want, and yet it seems out of reach, not quite in your grasp. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. Notice the temperature of the air as you breathe in through your nose. Hold it at the top. Out through your mouth. Notice, has the temperature changed? What's different about it? When you have brought something to mind that you deeply desire, give a gentle nod of your head. Okay, and when you feel, if it feels safe and you feel ready, say that desire out loud.
So the desire is to be more of a leader, particularly in my faith community and in the work that I do.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Several years ago, I had an image come to me, and it's related to this image where I feel like I'm not necessarily at the very top of a mountain, but sort of on this sort of higher mountainous place. And I'm sort of looking down through these rolling hills into maybe a valley, particularly a woman. And I think the desire is to be a leader amongst women. How I think of it is women in Zion.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
feels definitely out of reach and um, like it's a larger energy than what I'm used to holding.
Okay, that's a beautiful image that you just shared, and I thank you for trusting me with that. So many ways that we could go. Give me a minute. When you say to be a leader amongst women in Zion, when you said that, what did you notice about the energy in your body? Did you notice a place where it was just, just share first what you noticed, if anything?
Um, don't think of a pinch in my heart.
Okay.
And that also came up a little bit in the body scan.
Okay. Is it right directly in the center of your heart? Is it a pinch that maybe is over most of the heart space? Like, how would you describe? Is it, or just like a tiny pinch, like a clothespin type pinch?
Yeah, it feels pretty small. It does feel like it's kind of in the center of my heart.
Okay.
It's noticeable, but it's not extremely uncomfortable,
Okay.
like almost like a finger point right there.
Do you notice any other energies that are present that may want to be seen?
Mm. Yeah, I notice in my head a lot of tightness, almost like the very beginnings of like headache pain across my brow, tightening in my jaw and mouth.
Mhm.
So that feels kind of um, I don't know, big.
Okay.
Feels kind of intense, I would say.
Would you say that these two energies are connected in any way?
I feel like everything is always connected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to me, the the kind of pain in my head is usually a symbol that my mind is trying to be really strong, and typically that doesn't bode well for me, just from what I know of myself. Um, that I'm more body centric in terms of like my knowing and orienting to what feels right. And so sometimes this head sensations in my head point me toward my logical mind trying to be too loud or too strong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to help you. The awareness of the pain in your head. the headache across your brow that seems to be forming is really good awareness. So I want to see if we can redirect back to that pinch. I want to see if that pinch is connected at all to this vision, this image that you shared with me that you received several years ago. If that feels comfortable to you, I would like to step into that place if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. You described this vision that you had where you were up high, at the top of a mountain or some type of mountainous place
Mhm.
that gave you a vantage point of looking across a valley of sorts with lots of trees that represented families, and more specifically, the mothers, the women
Mhm.
of these families. So if you can take yourself to this place atop this mountainous area as an observer, maybe that means you're sitting on a large boulder nearby. Maybe that means you're perched atop a treetop nearby or a cliff or something of this beautiful vision of you looking out across this valley. When you see yourself atop this mountain, how do you see yourself? Like what do you see when you see you?
Yeah, I see myself standing. It's like the crest of a hill, maybe like a foothill below a very high point. So there's like a higher point behind me.
Mhm.
I'm standing and I see Christ with me standing next to me. Um,
Beautiful.
kind of in like normal clothes, jeans and a t-shirt. Um, yeah, and I'm like looking down over this kind of valley, or it's almost like a clearing. There is a
Mm.
path. There's like a dirt road or path of some kind,
Okay.
and I'm like in the middle of it.
So the path goes extends in both ways, behind you and in front of you.
Yes. And and I am noticing myself from behind and to the left of where I'm standing.
Okay.
I don't really notice much else. It's a
Okay.
clear, warm day.
Okay. That's also lovely. It's a clear, warm day. Sun is out.
Yeah, the sun seems to be out, but not direct. So,
Okay. Any clouds?
yeah, it feels like there's probably some clouds blocking the direct sun, but it's still very warm, like a summer
Okay.
day.
Okay. I'm curious to know when you are engaging and experiencing this vision right now as first an observer. You see yourself looking out on these on this beautiful vista, beautiful trees that represent these women of these families. If you were well, you are a part of this scene. You are a part of this, not this nature that you are witnessing and experiencing. If you were an element of the natural world, what shape or form or representation does that take? Like the women you saw were the families were trees.
And so, me, the observer, what element am I?
What do you see yourself as the form? Like, yeah, as the observer, but what is the observer seeing you?
Mm.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
are you a tree as well? Are you
yeah.
something else?
The me on the path.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I see myself in human form, just the way I look at myself in the mirror.
Uh-huh.
But if I were to make myself an
Mm-hmm.
element, I think I want to say I'm part of the path. Maybe so maybe like the dirt or the ground,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
particularly that like dirt pathway or yeah, it feels like a road to me. It feels very wide.
Okay. So as you are there in this space and you see that you are part of this path, I want you to ask, as the observer, as the watcher, ask the you, the Denita that's on this path with Christ, ask, why are you here? Like, what is your purpose in being here?
What comes up is to show the way,
Right? Two,
to show the way to Christ and also like to love, I think,
to love.
which to me they're kind of the same.
Okay. So to show the way to Christ and also to love, which is kind of the same to you, for whom?
For who?
Mm-hmm. For, mm-hmm.
I think for women and mothers.
As you're sharing this vision, as you're sharing this this observer, this bird's eye view of yourself, talking about being the path, showing the way to Christ and to love for women and mothers. What what do you notice about the energy in your body? Are there any changes? Any shifts?
Feel um, much more open and warm, like a warm buzzy, particularly like throughout my torso, like my chest and my
Mm-hmm.
stomach, a little bit in
Okay.
my hands.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Really good awareness. As you take in a deep breath again, directing that breath to your this warm energy that you feel in your torso, your chest, your stomach. I want you to ask, how do I show the way?
I I think the answer is that I embody love, that I become the way.
Do you notice anything um, changing in your energy as you say that out loud?
Yeah, I notice that pinching in my heart come up a little.
Okay.
I notice like just like a hesitation or resistance.
Okay. Is that also uh, in the pinching?
It feels like it's more like in my gut, kind of like
Okay.
holding instead of relaxing.
Like your gut there's maybe is there a tenseness or a tightness?
Yeah, exactly.
If you were to describe this tenseness or tightness in your gut in the form of an element, like what form or shape would you give it?
Um, Probably like a rock, like a hardness.
Okay. Is it the size of like a pebble, a tennis ball, a basketball? What would you say?
Yeah, more like a basketball, kind of just like my whole torso.
Okay. Do you notice any shading or coloring or, um, you know, on a spectrum of lightness to darkness? Like what can you share with me about its presence in that way?
It feels dark, like dark gray or a dark blue, not black completely. Um, like it just feels, well, in my mind's eye, I see it as if it would feel rough, but it doesn't really feel rough to me. But um, just like almost like a stone armor along my kind of low guts area.
Mhm. Okay. So it's the size of a basketball. It's heavy. It's hard. Um, Not black, but certainly darker in color, like grays and darker blues.
Mhm.
When you look at it in your mind's eye, it looks like it would be rough, but it's actually not. It's like this stone armor, like maybe a shield, or with the function of a shield.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me when you think about this energy, this heavy rock like size of a basketball, darker in color energy in your gut, is it connected in any way to that pinch that you described earlier that you felt in your heart?
Yeah. I mean, I think it comes up when I think about my capability. Like, can I do that? I think that both the pinch and the tightening down low both are related to that.
So they kind of show up together.
Yeah, now that I'm noticing, I think they do.
Okay. Take a moment and just breathe into both of those energies. Breathe in through your nose and direct that breath to that pinch in your heart, extending down into your gut, your abdomen area. And as you are here, Denita, and feeling these energies, I want you to ask, how are you helping me? How are you serving me right now?
Feels just like protection against vulnerability, against too much, is what is coming to my mind.
Too much. How would you fill in that blank? Too much what?
Like, what's coming to me is like too much love, like the capacity to be love and show love.
Okay. Take a moment, put one hand over your heart, the other over your abdomen. Breathe into that. When you say that in that moment, what did you notice about your energy in your heart and in your abdomen, your gut area?
I think my heart wants to get larger and bigger and have more love. Um, I think the abdomen kind of just stayed the same. A little bit of a sense of tightness or,
Okay.
yeah,
That's so beautiful. My heart wants to get bigger, wants to get larger. I want you to ask, what is in the way?
I think it's just like my capacity to receive, to be able to be with um, like the presence of God. I I have this sense that um, like the head pain. This is just gonna sound so weird. Um, but
Nothing
it
sounds
reminds
weird.
me of Moses had to put on a veil to protect him from like the glory of God, right?
Mhm.
And that's kind of what it feels like. Is like my capacity to receive love and glory and like be in God's presence is limited. It's just like overflowing abundance.
That is such a gorgeous description. Um, take a moment and just let that, just let those words rest in you. Let the feeling that is coming up for you just rest in you for a moment. But if this veil that Moses placed upon his head was a symbolic, almost ritual of stepping into a new space, a new identity or personage during that time of communion with God, that the veil was an external indicator, taking an action on the outside to symbolically represent to him and even to God this moment of transfiguration that he would experience as he communed with the divine, as he, and I'll say by extension, you have the ability to align yourselves to a higher vibration, to experience more fully the presence and the vibration of the divine. And wearing this veil is symbolically and even literally stepping into that version of Denita, that version of you. What comes up for you as I share that idea?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's a lot of truth there. I have like, I have other spiritual experiences coming to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the message from Christ being
Mm-hmm.
that he'll never give me too much.
Mm-hmm. How does it feel to receive that message?
It feels like freedom, like I can move how I want when I want.
Mm-hmm.
I am also noticing um, like a paradox
Okay.
is here in this space that to expand my capacity for more love and stepping more into the presence of God. I just know that that means that there is going to be more um, grief and pain and sorrow. I had a little bit of a sense of that at the beginning of this with the vision that I felt both like sorrow for these trees in my vision, but these women, and also like love, right? So it was like both. Yeah, so I just know that like stepping into this bigger version,
Mm-hmm.
more in the presence of God is going to expand me in all of the ways, not just in the love way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just noticing that as well.
When you say I have this, there's going to be more grief, pain, and sorrow. Do you notice any of your physical sensations, any energy where that, as you say it, what do you notice, if anything,
Um,
as you talk about the grief and the pain that you feel now and that you felt also at the beginning?
I notice a little bit of like pinching in my throat, like that feeling that you're holding back, the tears or that kind of an idea. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but more, it just feels true. It just feels like a stretching, like an expansion.
Mm-hmm. As you're sharing this with me, Denita, what do you notice about the energy specifically that you described to me earlier, the pinching in your heart, as well as that heavy rock like basketball sized heaviness in your gut?
I don't notice the pinching anymore. It just feels warm and open.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still a remnant of the tightening in my gut.
Okay. Would you say the shape of this tightening is still like, how would you describe the shape and the size? Still like a basketball that's rock like? Has it changed at all?
It feels like it has softened a little bit. But it kind of feels like it's supposed to be there. So I'm really just thinking about the symbolism of the temple and like the girdle, um,
Okay.
the veil. Like it just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
that idea of Moses's veil. Like God gave that to him as a protection. That it's not what's kind of coming to me is that I'm not necessarily supposed to have any protection, right? That I have to grow into different versions of myself.
I'm curious to know what the energy has to share when you think of the veil and when you think of this energy in your gut that is softened some, but you feel like it's supposed to be there as a form of both of these energies as a form of protection. What do you need protecting from?
It's I think it's just the pure energy of God. Like that is powerful, right? And that I'm a puny human with maybe a drop of that power, but that in our human state that we're not really supposed to withstand the full power of glory and light and power of God.
I think you even said a girdle, like, which I think is synonymous maybe with a shield of some kind, maybe. So, as you're back on that mountaintop and you are there in all of your humanness, you had the pinch in your heart. It seems to have dissipated. It's kind of turned into this warm openness. You've brought with you this feeling in your lower abdomen. It has softened some. It's still there. Certain roundish heaviness. And you also described this feeling in your throat, like a pinching feeling, like you're holding back tears. And you are there. This time, the question is, what is next?
I think it's just to go forth.
What does that look like? Describe what go forth means.
I think it's to move forward on the path. So move toward these women, these families. And my sense is that it's to be an example of love and also to teach how to love.
Mhm.
Sounds kind of strange to my own ears, but
Is anything
we
coming up in in this vision in your mind's eye of what teaching how to love looks like?
um I think it's just one on one,
Okay.
going one on one and being with these women. I see myself kind of holding their hands, looking into their eyes, like loving them really, allowing them to ask questions and answering the questions, sharing my stories.
Mhm.
It feels a lot just like being myself. um,
How does that feel in your body as you're sharing what moving forward, going forth looks like? How does that feel in your body?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like love. It feels warm, open, grounded.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just notice some like resonant tears.
I would love to know more about what's behind the tears. Maybe we can do a follow-up appointment because our time is short. I want you to know how honored I feel that you've shared this beautiful vision. And take a moment. I invite you to take a moment and take a deep breath in and thank your body for this beautiful experience, this moment of connecting, receiving, feeling, and deepening your knowing. And take a moment to commit to your mental muscle memory, these feelings of love and expansion and warmth and feeling grounded, knowing that you can move forward and call upon this grounded, centered feeling, and that it's not required to do it all at once. It's step by step, one by one, person by person. And as you go down that path, down the side of the mountain, you will meet the trees that are seeking you and your energy, and you will know and they will know, and you will both feel it. So, with that, take a moment, breathe in, another breath in. Maybe roll your shoulders back, drop your right ear to your right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder, chin to sternum. Continuing to breathe. Touch your table or desk, your chair. Remind yourself where you're at in your home. You're safe, and taking with you the wisdom and the beauty of this message. I hope you can feel what a beautiful divine soul you are, Denita. You have a special calling and purpose. I I'm just always so fascinated and curious and interested in all the things that you do. You have something about you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was lovely. Yeah, I think I'll be pondering that for a long time. So thank you.